Welcome to the course orientation video for Biology 6330. That's molecular and cellular biology. If you attended the first day of class, this is going to be pretty much all repeat, so you won't need to watch this. But for those of you who missed it, here's the background. Originally, this course was going to be our first kind of back to regular type face-to-face classes, but unfortunately, because of the surge of COVID, the university has asked us to do at least hybrid. So to make this most accessible to all students, I'm actually switching this to a asynchronous online course. So all of the material will be available asynchronously. That means you don't have to do it at a specific time, but you do still have deadlines, and we'll review that here in a little bit. I don't think this is ideal for a graduate course. To compensate for that somewhat, I will have lots of interaction available for you. You can do that within students. I will assign kind of small cohorts where you can work with students, although you don't have to. But I hope also you will interface and see options to interface with me and ask questions, review material, go over anything that you're not certain of. So that way it'll be a little bit to compensate for the online asynchronous course. Now, the benefit of an asynchronous online course, of course, is convenience, particularly if you're living in Brownsville or somewhere else, or if you have other responsibilities for research or work or family or whatever. It gives you much, much more flexibility. So hopefully that will work for most students. I don't think it's ideal. I think, honestly, although it is a sacrifice, and especially for travel and rearranging your life, to have a regular in-person class, I think that especially for graduate courses, that works best for most people. But it is what it is. That's the reality we're faced with. So when you log on to Blackboard, you will see a list of all of your courses that have Blackboard material. This is the one for ours, Biology 6330 for fall 2021. You will log on and see something very similar to this. It might change slightly, or student view versus teacher view, but this is what you will see. So the first thing that you should do is look at the syllabus. So let's review that together. This is a Word document. You're welcome to print a hard copy if you'd like, but this is what you will see when you access that syllabus, okay? So again, online asynchronous, that's the way it was inadvertently, mistakenly posted originally, so many of you registered with the intent of doing that anyway, so hopefully this will be most convenient and work well for most of our students. There is no text required. However, there's a lot of reading assignments. They will all be provided for you on Blackboard, and I'll show you how to access those in just a bit. My office is here. I am not there a ton, but I'm often in my lab, which is posted just outside my office, so you can go there and then go down to my lab. You have a chance of catching me, but honestly, the very best way for you to catch me is either by email, which I try to respond to within the same day, but sometimes, especially on the weekends, it might be 2 days, or attend one of the Zoom office hours, or send me an email and make an appointment, and we can do a Zoom office hours. So I will be online on Zoom, and this is for all my courses, not just my graduate course, but often there's very few people there, so there should be plenty of time to engage. Monday and Wednesdays from 10 to 11 in the morning, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 to 9 in the evenings. Those are the times that you have to just come on, shoot the breeze, or hopefully, do something productive as far as regarding the class, talk about questions, review projects, ask about upcoming exams, things like that. So you've got the Zoom link here, and you can engage with me there 4 days a week or by appointment if those times don't work for you. I've tried to make them as convenient as possible for most students. The main focus of the first part of this course will be phylogenetics, and we're going to review methods, theory, a little bit of practical stuff like how to download data and even make phylogenies, and you'll see how to do that. Okay, that's a major portion of this course. In addition, we'll do a very short PopGen or population genetics section, and then the remainder of the course will cover molecular evolution. So by the end of this course, you should be able to at least understand the theories and a little bit of the practical hands-on stuff for transcriptome assembly and even differential gene expression analysis, for genome assembly and annotation, theory and complexity of tree reconstruction, that's phylogeny, and then how those methodologies are used and kind of how they're different from one another. Phylogenetics, by the way, is underlying foundational part of evolution, and evolution is underlying foundational part of all of biology. So this is actually really broadly applicable class, especially if you're doing research and want to go in to get a PhD or go on in biology. But even if you're not, if you're going to go into professionals, or if you're like dental school or medical school, or if you are taking this to get a job in, say, industry, right? Maybe you're going to go to work in a molecular biology startup or a lab or something like that. The underlying foundation here is really, really broadly applicable, okay? You'll also get a little bit of understanding of the hands-on, the computers that do it, although there are many, many of them, and some of them are not exactly user-friendly. We're going to stick with a freeware program that does a lot of different things and is pretty user-friendly, but if you're doing specialized or more advanced analyses, there might be different programs that you would use. But at least you'll get a taste of it. And then finally, you'll understand how these are applicable to other parts of biology. Again, it's foundational for all biology. So if you're an ecologist, phylogenetics and to some extent molecular evolution is really critical, even for such things as ecology, even for things like human medicine. Okay, so hopefully you'll see some of the use and application of that. Again, we'll do a short brief section on population genetics, and we'll talk about more classical molecular evolution, including protein evolution. That will be about the last third or so of the class. There are three major components of the course upon which you will be assessed, that your grade will come from. I'm going to post all the lectures online. They're actually generated last year as I did this, so they're there. I think they're pretty good. I don't think online courses are the best way for most students, but if you're self-motivated, as long as you keep up, hopefully you'll still have a very good experience in this class. And if that doesn't work for you, you may have to kind of adjust a little bit. Hopefully it works somewhat. But you can make it more of a kind of traditional graduate school experience if you want to log on regularly and talk to me and say, hey, let's go over this, let's review this. That's why I'm there. That's why I'm online. There should be ample time to do that. Please keep up with the schedule. I'll look at the calendar here in just a little bit. There are still deadlines, even though it's asynchronous. What asynchronous means is there's not a specific time, Monday, Wednesday, 8 to 9, where you have to be online, and if you miss it, you're going to miss out. You can engage with most of the material as you need to, but keep up, and then make sure you're meeting all the deadlines, which we'll review on the calendar. All the readings are provided for you in PDF format in a couple of different ways you can access them, and we'll do that here in just a little bit. And then also you'll have regular quizzes. There will be one each week. I think there may be a week or so where there's an exam that conflicts and you won't have a quiz, but by and large you'll have a quiz just about every week, maybe every week. We'll look at the calendar here in a little bit. And those will be available on Wednesday, but not due. You won't have to turn them in until Friday, so you have a little bit of a window there for the quizzes. 5 projects that are spread throughout the semester. There's going to be videos and guidelines for these. Some of it will be you hands-on learning it, but I am here to help you. So as long as you're not trying to jam it in and cram it in on the last day or last couple days, I'm here. I can even walk you through step by step if you need me to. So the idea is that the projects help you to get a taste and even learn a little bit of practically hands-on how people do some of the things we're going to be talking about in the course. But plan ahead. If your projects are turned in late, even a day late, there is a 25% penalty. And then if they're 2 days late, it's 50%. So please plan ahead. I'll be posting the first project by the end of the week. It's not due until about 3 weeks, so you will have ample time for all of those to complete those projects. The last component of your grade, so quizzes are one component. We'll look at the exact breakdown and percentage-wise here. The projects are a second component, and then the third and largest component of your grade will be 3 midterm exams. Because of the online nature of this course, these exams will be administered online. You will not have the software that makes you lock down your computer and you can't turn your eyes around. That's a bit of a trade-off, and we can talk why I do that. I understand that this means that some students are going to be cheating, for lack of a better word. But it's open material, really. So to compensate, there will be pools of questions. So not every student is going to get the exact same question, but they'll all be comparable and roughly equal. So we get pools of multiple choice question and then pools of written questions from which you will have to answer. But you can use your notes. You can go back and review lectures. But if you're coming into them unprepared, you will not have enough time to complete it if you're trying to learn and teach yourself the material and review, find the answer for every single question. So there will still be a time limit. It'll be about 2 hours, which should be ample time if you are familiar and have studied and know the material. Okay. This says don't cheat. Again, it should be all your own work. But what that means is for the quizzes, for the exams, you can use your notes. You can access the lecture material. If you really are desperate, you can even Google and try to find it. But if you're doing that for everyone, you're not going to do real well on those exams. Okay, but make it your own work. You should not have multiple students in this class that are helping each other, that are answering questions. If you want to study with one another, if you want to review material with me, great. But the exams and the quizzes should be your own work as you're drawing from all of those online materials, your notes, and what you've learned throughout the unit. Okay. The grading scale for the class, 60% of your grade will come from exams. So each of those 4 exams will be worth 15% of your overall grade. 5 projects, each one worth 5% total of your grade. And if you're engaging and doing, and especially following up with me and asking how to do these and getting help when you need it, you should get really high scores. And so you should be able to get most or all of that 25% of that grade. Quizzes are online. I will show you and demonstrate how to do the first one as it comes. Each Wednesday they will be available. And you'll need to turn them in sometime Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday by midnight. And those should be fairly straightforward. You should be able to, although, again, they will be assessed. The first one, you'll be able to take as many times as you want. After that, each remaining quiz, it'll just be a one-time quiz that you'll need to log on and take 5 questions. So they're short. They shouldn't take you more than 15, 20 minutes, depending on how fast you are, sometimes even much less. And those will make up 15% of your overall grade. We'll review the calendar here in a little bit. Because it is an online course, you have lots and lots of flexibility, but please keep up. Make sure you are aware of all of the deadlines, okay? I will be available by Zoom for lots of help, and you can set up small meetings with groups of students or single students. This disability information may not apply to you now. Hopefully it will not if it doesn't. But if it does, contact me, just communicate, let me know, make sure that we have all the accommodations that you need to excel in the course. If it doesn't apply to you, great, but it may at some point. I'm going to be a little bit flexible if you communicate with me. So if you come to me and say, Dr. Terry, I've been diagnosed with COVID, I'm not feeling great, I'm not going to say, okay, fine, then just don't do anything for the next 3 weeks. You need to try and keep up, and you need to communicate with me, and I will make accommodations as needed. But if you come to me 2 weeks later and say, oh, I've been sick the last 2 weeks, what do I need to do? You're going to be in big trouble, okay? So please communicate. I will trust to some extent, but also verify. So I might request that you, for instance, log on to the university and verify that, yes, I'm going to be screened for COVID because I'm having symptoms, okay? So please use that if needed, but do not abuse the system. All right, so let's take a quick look. I'm going to come back here, and we'll take a quick look at the course calendar. Calendar is a great kind of general one-shot view for knowing how the course will work. University website's going a little slow. Hopefully it will load here. Sometimes there's a bit of an overload on the first day of classes as everyone's struggling to register and check their courses and things like that. Okay, so here it is. PDF format, it's just listed week by week with everything that you need and due dates. There's another great resource you can use either or to keep you on track called Daily Links, which we'll look at here in a little bit. But all of the material is here. Let's just get it kind of centered there. There we go. Okay, so week number 1, we're doing this course orientation. You should watch this video. And then there are a couple other things, 1.11 and 1.12, that you will do, watch videos for and get kind of an orientation. Okay, Wednesdays here, the reading assignments are in blue. So you've got at least one for every class period other than this first orientation one. I need to fix that. Wednesday, October 20th. I'll fix that. I'm not sure why there's a gap there. That should be unit 2.8 and then 2.9 down here. But anyway, take a look at those and just be aware, keep up. I've got a couple more papers I want to review to see exactly what I'm going to do at the end, but those will be updated before we get there. We do have one built-in day at the end of the Unit 3 for review if you want to go over anything. Exam days, other than a university emergency, university holiday, they will stay on these days, so just be aware and plan accordingly. Wednesday, September 22nd will be our first exam. It will be available all day long on Blackboard, and I'll probably review, and I certainly will be available to answer questions that day during regular office hours or by appointment. 2 is on October 27th. The third exam is December 1st, and then we'll have our final exam as it's scheduled by the university. It's actually, I think the schedule is for Monday, December 6th for this class for the final, but I'll allow you to take it either on Monday or Tuesday. It will be comprehensive, but the same format as the other exams, and we'll talk about that as it gets a little bit closer. Okay. There's also reminders here about due dates when quizzes are due. So we have 12 quizzes. If there's an exam on a Wednesday, you won't have a quiz that week, but otherwise you will have a quiz. And then our 5 projects spaced roughly evenly throughout the semester. I will post reminders about those also, sometimes in announcements. But another really great thing that will help you to keep on track, you can use the calendar as a quick overall view, But in addition, the most important thing to help keep you going is this daily links folder. So in the daily links folder, all of the units are there, and I'll post them as the first part of the unit becomes available and accessible. You will have a folder for each of the units. Okay, so in the daily links folder, you've got a folder here with the dates for our first unit up through September 20th, and then on the 22nd is our first exam. So this is all of the dates that we will cover material for that first unit. And then in each of those subunits, you have them broken down. Now, even though it's asynchronous, we're going to kind of do it as if it was meeting on Monday and Wednesday when it was originally scheduled. That doesn't mean you have to do everything, but sometimes there are deadlines for specific days. So let's look at Monday, which is today, the first day. You should be able to complete this. In each of the daily links folders, there is a list, 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up, of everything that you should do for that day. And if it's not a due date on the calendar, it can wait a day or so, but it's really, really good to keep up with the schedule as much as you can. So today, you're hopefully already doing this because you watched the course orientation video. It's there. You can do it again if you want. That's this video that you're doing right now. I post all of my videos on YouTube. You might have to watch a quick 5-second commercial you can skip over at the beginning, but that seems to be the most user-friendly and readily accessible platform. I've tried some of the proprietary ones, the ones the university does online, and I still have some students that have problems. So YouTube is just easy, right? So then you'll have lectures, material. I try to break them up a bit. So some of them are a little longer than others, but you might see 15-minute one, you might see a half an hour one, maybe as long as 45 minutes. And usually there are 2 or 3 of them for each day. Okay, so you'll watch those and review those and go over. If there's a quiz due, you'll see a little reminder about the quiz due that weekend. But if you do these daily links, if you log on every day, you'll keep up. You'll know of everything you need to do. There'll be quiz reminders, project reminders, and exam reminders in these daily links folders also. So use the calendar for an overall view. You can print it or post it or use a digital version. But if you're logging on every Monday and Wednesday and doing these, maybe you'd want to use the calendar a little bit too to make sure you're doing projects and you're not cramming those in on the last day. But other than that, the daily links will make sure you're caught up with everything. Most, but not all, of the video lectures have a PowerPoint associated with them, and I post those also. So the PowerPoints are there for your use if you want to use them. You can click on that and print up the notes version to take notes on that if you want to do that by hand, or you can just use them or not as needed. All of the readings, which will be linked, we don't have a reading for August 23rd, but there will be one for Wednesday the 25th. The readings will be linked in the daily links, and then they're also just listed here in this readings folder if you want to access them there. The projects, the first one will appear this first week and isn't due until I think the end of the 3rd week, but they will be there. You'll link them. There will be videos that are linked with them also to help at least get you through most of it, maybe even all of it. But please, please reach out to me if you're struggling or have questions on any of these mini projects. They are a fairly significant 25% overall of your grade. Okay, when quizzes the first one will be on Wednesday, August 25th. They will appear in this folder, and you will then be able to look at your answers and even see the correct answer by looking under the My Grades and clicking on your score. But the quizzes themselves will be available starting on Wednesday of each week all the way through Friday. After that, they'll disappear, but you can still review them and see what you got right and wrong by going to the My Grades section and then clicking on the score for the quizzes you want to review. Same thing is true for exams. They will appear on the day that they are taken, then they will disappear at midnight on that day. If you want to review your questions and answers, you can do that again via the My Grades link, but there won't be a word key posted for those, but you can still review the questions and your scores for each of those. And then if you have any questions or specific things you want to go over on those exams, you can come and see me. Okay, so this is going to be the major thing. You'll have everything you need with the daily links in the calendar, and then all the resources here at your hands, including pages where you can get the things that are due, the projects, the quizzes, and the exams that will make up your whole grade. Okay, hopefully that gives you an idea. I try to make it as streamlined and as simple as possible with multiple ways you can access all of the material and making sure that you are keeping up. Your next task if you've just finished watching this orientation video will be to watch video number 1, which is an introduction to DNA and molecular evolution, hopefully review much of that material. And then watch video number 2, which is an introduction to the program Mega, which we'll be using for many of the projects. We've been using some other programs and doing some other demos of online material later on. Okay, so if you do all that, you're done for Monday, and then you can maybe work ahead a little bit if you'd like to, or just wait until Wednesday and access the material for Wednesday, which will be some lectures and a quiz, reading material, and some review of that reading material. And that can be found in the Daily Links folder for Wednesday, August 25th. Again, if you have any questions, if anything isn't clear, send me an email. I'll answer it that way as quickly as I can, or just log on to one of the Zoom office hours and let's talk about it. Okay, good luck. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a really valuable course. Again, it's fairly broad, gives a lot of foundation that's applicable, particularly if you are in a thesis master's and you're doing a research project. There are probably going to be some or maybe even many components of this course that are applicable to what you are doing.